the joints you could think of, man. Like Gazelles, from Gazelles to Versace's to shit you never heard of.
Right.
Right there as soon as you walk in, man.
Since we
they got a store with all the British Walkers in there, man.
That's what I brought you here, because I knew you had a deep knowledge of all this fly bullshit.
You know?
Right? If you tuned into me, you watching Gully TV, man. This is a pleasure. This means a lot.
Yeah, keep it Gully, y'all.
Make sure I get my dribble right. All right. That's great. Cappadonna, my nigga.
I have to pull a link out. They can't see.
Pull the cables out. Pull the motherfucking cables out.
They can see it.
This is just, your dribble is immaculate, man. For the last 25 years, man, you just been so flavorful. I could do this in my sleep, man. This was pre-recorded. You dig what I'm saying?
Hey, Lord.
Tell me about, where do I start? Winter Warz. Let's start with that. That's from the soundtrack. Don't be a menace for drinking.
We like 3 years in now.
Okay. All right. I have to do this. I'm not gonna do it chronological.
I appreciate you for that.
Because you just so ambidextrous. You think what I'm saying? When you're spinning around in the video, if you were spinning around, changing outfits, you just so, you know what I mean, extravagant, right? So, tell me, Winter Warz, man, you just blacked out, man.
I blacked out.
What the fuck?
You know, I was fresh out the pulpit at that time, and you know, I was coming in, and like I said, my brothers was very radiant and very knowledgeable, and they was, you know, great swordsmen. You know what I'm saying, when it come down to them darts.
Right.
And I knew that I had to make a big impression. You know, it was no time for faltering. You know what I'm saying? So I came in there. You know, I had a predetermined thought in my mind that I'm just gonna spit this rap, man, and just keep rapping. You know what I'm saying? So I practiced a little bit, you know, on my own time, and when I came in there, it was on. In the words of Master Killer, he said, "Yo, you came in there, Lord, and was like, yo, where I go in that?" He said, "You went in the booth and gave niggas hell, Lord, and then you was like, yo, I got some shit to take care of." And he said, "You bounced."
You serious?
He said, "Yo, I didn't even know you at that time." He's like, "Yo, you came in, laid that shit down, and laughed, Lord."
Now, I've been in studios and I've watched artists make a song, and I've seen people, you know, punch in and punch out. Not that it would take away from the credibility of the song. Was that just one outburst?
That was one take. One take, all the way through. I didn't even know about bars. 16 bars. Like, I never wrote like that.
Right.
Like, you know, as a young writer, I always just kept the pen flowing. Like,
we call that the prison style of writing.
Right.
When niggas just put the 100 bars, just get
100 bars.
That's what you did. You took them to the yard. You took them to the yard.
Periods. If it would have been an essay, I would have failed. Because, you know, you got to have periods, punctuation marks, you know, paragraphs and all that. And it just was none of that. It was just straight through, just bonkers. Straight rhyme all the way, man.
Now, when you got to the part when you like, even if I smoked out, I can't be scoped out. What is going through your mind? What is the engineer saying? Is your eyes closed when you're doing this shit?
I don't really remember. It was like you said, I blacked out. I don't know if I was high or if I was sober or whatever. I know I was fresh out the pee now. Like, you know.
Obviously. Okay.
Yeah.
It makes sense now.
Right,
all right, I got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Because regular niggas can't do that shit. And I've told people repeatedly, I'm a former prison basketball star. I used to dunk on niggas.
Nice.
Dunked on a lot of killers and shit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I tell people about the highly skilled swordsmen that you meet in the prison system. Man, I done met niggas that can sing like a motherfucker, composers and MCs that just out of this world. And I tell people, if y'all ever get a dose of this shit, y'all just go, but these niggas never stay on the street. You dig what I'm saying?
The revolving door.
You got one off for us.
That's the revolving
door. You
door.
got one off for all of the men.
One of the illest incidents is that when I was in there, I think I was in Brooklyn House at the time. It was like 1988. And, You know, I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't on yet in the game, but I was popular in the hood.
Okay.
Throughout the whole Staten Island. And when I'm in there, you know, a guy challenged me to a battle, and you know, so I'm battling the dude, and he spit one of my rhymes at me. One of my whole rhymes, so I'm
and
like,
he didn't know you, he just heard the rhyme.
nah, I don't know him either.
Okay.
So I'm like, yo, I don't even know what to say at this point. I'm like, yo, oh shit. I'm like, yo, that's my dog. Of course, he like, nah, that's my shit. Boom, boom, boom,
right.
boom. And I'm like, yo, nah, for real. Like, yo, like I had to spit this shit back just to get him to confess. Like I spit the joint back. I'm like, yo, that's my thought. I'm like, yo, how you even get that?
Right.
Mind you, I don't got no records out there. It's nothing. There's no Wu-Tang at this time. None of that. He was like, yo, I heard it on the tape in Queens. In Queens.
Wow.
I'm like, how my joint? I don't even got that on tape. Like,
right.
How'd you get this?
Right.
You know, he was like, yo, just somebody had it on tape. But it's funny because when I first heard Mobb Deep, that's how they shit was. It was just on the tape, and it was that Shook One shit.
Yeah.
And you know how fire that was when it came out. So I guess it's like he gave me the same impact back on me and my own shit
right.
that I got from the impact when I heard that Mobb Deep Shook One shit on tape. I was like, oh shit.
Nigga, you know, this is so big for me.
Never knew how many bars Winter Warz was though.
Yeah, how many bars is it?
I'm still not sure. I gotta count that up again. It could be 50 bars or something.
So after you do some shit like that, what do your brothers say to you? Like, nigga!
Well, you see what they did? They said, yeah, you down with us. Like, yo, he on our team.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know, like I said, that was real honorable, man, and it kept me in the loop, and it kept, you know, my brothers wanting more of me, and when people seen that, they gravitated toward that energy too, and you know, from that a fan base was created.
All right, let's talk about the photo shoot that appeared on Ironman album.
Okay.
Who took that photo?
I'm not sure who took it at that time. You know, that was a Ghost project. Ghost is very he's flamboyant, and he's very articulate when it comes down to taste, style. Like everything he does is premeditated.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's a deep thinker and very, very passionate about what he do. So he only want the best of the best, man. Even if the photographer was that dude, that's the dude he want. He want the dude with the best eye.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you can't just come and take pictures.
Right.
You gotta be able to understand the concept of what he bringing to you.
Right.
And you gotta capture it like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I respect that about Ghost. And it was all his idea.
Right.
You know, for us to be like that. As far as our outfits, you know, that it was pretty much just, that's how we moved. We was always colorful like that, you know what I mean? I had that shit on when I came to the studio. That was my kufi from home.
Y'all had us applying pressure in the shit.
And the jacket that I had on, it was crazy because that it was a Tommy Hill jacket, I think, but I turned it inside out.
Wow.
So I wasn't even wearing it on the right side.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And
I always wondered, what was that, Helly Hansen or Polo?
Yeah.
Inside out Tommy.
And that shit was real. And Tony came up with the concept to dip the Wallabies, flip them in different shades and different colors. Like he did that. We wound up meeting up with Andy and them. That's Mr. Clark's sons and them, and they bringing us Wallabies like they know us. Like
so once y'all started freaking them, the Wallaby Corporation said, "Okay, this is what we doing."
That's right.
Check this out.
That's right. They started. You know, they didn't really solidify a deal or nothing.
Right.
But they identified with it. You know what I mean? And started trying to build more colors.
Right.
They wasn't really freaking the two-tone yet.
Right.
But they definitely grasped the concept and ran with it for as much as they could.
Right.
And then my man Udi, this Jewish kid from out of Manhattan, he made the Woo Wallabies.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, he made the Woo Wallabies and shit. And yeah, it was just a dope team to be a part of, man. With the whole Wallaby, you know, the Wally King Champ and all the colors, and he created like a factory. If you could see in the background, you might see some metal Wallabies in the back and some laboratory shit where he's mixing colors back there and all that shit. So yeah, he was very suave with that right there, man, and it was impactful.
We was out there. We was civilized. We were Muslim. We was wearing kufis. You sent niggas back to start rocking them again. If you wasn't rocking it, you turn it into some fly shit for the moment.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I appreciate that, man.
Tell me about the song Camay. Your inspiration for your lines on Camay. Was this a specific incident?
Of course, you know, like I said, you know, Ghost and them and Raekwon, they was already situated in the group signing. They got signed by Steve Rifkin, and they was far already advanced in the professionalism of the art at this point, and you know, they had an idea that they would attract the female aspect of the culture. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Ghost and Ray, we was the flamboyant ones, the gold teeth and all of that, fur coats, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, you know, between Ray and Ghost, you know, they had an idea, and then Ghost came up with the word Camay, you know, because he always, like I said, he's very articulate. Right. And he want everything to coincide. Like he might see a chick as Camay. Like he describing her off the word. It might be a soap. What is it?
It was soap. And we associated it with black women.
Right, exactly. So that's like, yeah, she butter soft, you know what I mean? Right. Slick, elegant, ebony, you know what I mean? Like she fresh like a bar of soap, you know what I mean? So it was his concept, and I just had to gravitate toward the concept and you know, come with my vision of how I seen the woman through his eyes and through all of our eyes together, so that we can coincide as one, right? And talk to these ladies on that level, man. You know
so this sounds like y'all got this like Magic, Worthy, and Kareem thing going.
Right. It's like at the same time I'm learning while I'm earning. It's like I'm getting on the job training. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm able to sit there, you know, when we writing together, seeing how they doing it, seeing where they pulling the energy from, and I'm like, wow. But you know what made my thoughts so significant is that when I was socializing, vibing with my eyes on Dot, the book cover lady that was blowing up the spot, she from the hood, right? So it was like I painted a real picture to my brothers. Like, they was like, oh, Sweat, that's Jizza's sister. Right. You know what I'm saying? So Jizza's like, oh, shit, like, yo, I gotta respect that. So like, I ain't say nothing foul. And it's like, oh, wow, you know what I'm saying? And Randall was like, oh, Sweat, you know what I'm saying? Because theirs was a little more animated. Right. But it's like, I made mine, and that's one of the gifts that I had from, you know, my entry into the game, is that I had a lot of things that I wrote about that was real in the hood. Right. So people was able to identify with that. You know what I mean? Okay. Like right off the back. And they was like, wow, that's why, you know, reminded them, and that's why they fuck with me.
Who was some of your favorite MCs growing up? Like, who inspired you to do this shit?
Man, of course, Slick Rick, Big Daddy Kane,
all the time.
KRS-One. Right. I mean, there wasn't nobody more flamboyant. There's still nobody more flamboyant than Slick Rick. He still got the biggest chains, the biggest jewel, the biggest ice, his Wallabies. The heel is this big. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, nobody could deal with that man right there, man. And you know, growing up, you know, like as far as like me, RZA, Devon, and a lot of us, we didn't even wear jeans till like maybe the early 90s. Like from the 80s, all of the 80s, or I might even want to say the mid 90s, because it was slacks, man. I was just like, I go to the store and get 10 pairs of slacks a week.
Right.
And it was funny. I didn't realize that even at an older age, like, I was doing that at maybe 15, 16, 17 years old.
Right.
Wearing slacks and wallabies to school. I was already dressing like a gentleman before I knew really what a gentleman was. By the time I got to the gentleman stages of life, I was dressing like a hoodlum now. Like I wasn't. I'm not trying to throw on those slacks now. You know what I mean? And those shoes and none of that. So that was it. You know, it was amazing how we would pay $100 for a silk shirt. We wearing $100 shoes at 15. I'm getting all of my shark skins were tailored at the bottom. I'm taking them to the tailor. As soon as I come out of the store, straight to the tailor shop, not to the cleaners. To the tailor. Right. Like, yo, take this up here, man. Make that straight leg before we even knew what all of that was about. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that was a amazing thing.
That right there, that lifestyle which you just described, that was only occupied by people from New York City. I want to be the one to tell you that wasn't no seamstresses. Niggas wasn't stepping outside. From buying some fucking pants and walk at the seamstress across the street. No,
right.
Nah, that was New York City, and that's why y'all #1 in fashion.
And you know, not for nothing, but even that aspect of the game was orchestrated on Canal Street. You know, that's where all the wallabies was. So not only was the jewelry there, I mean, that's where you used to go to get everything. Like even still, now you could go and get you all the leathers is there. Like Sherlings, they got the new Sherlings.
I want the old.
Yeah, you could probably get those in there. You could find them. You can get the old. They still got the. I don't know if you just seen like maybe a year or 2 years ago, me and Ray came out with the new Goose, the leather Goose. It's the same as the other one, but it's bigger. Like it's out here now. Okay. You know what I mean? Like they just stuffed it with more feathers. It was so big, man. I don't even know what I did. I think I gave it away to somebody, man. Shit was about $12.
What was your go-to spot to shop at growing
up? I'm from Staten Island, so it was a kind of, you know, live. You know, that's a word we use to describe anything we did that was out of the ordinary. So it was live of me to be able to even be traveling at 15 to Manhattan to go shopping. Because a lot of the other cats who wasn't advanced like us, they was just local shoppers. They'll go to the Staten Island Mall or down on Bay Street or something to one of the stores, and we dibbled over there too. Got some Lees or whatever. Mm-hmm. And but yeah, I'll be up on Delancey, school shopping over there, where if you ain't on your toes, they gonna take your bags and all that over there. Like them dudes will wait for you at the train station, projects right there. Take your shit, run the projects. I just go downtown Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? And then, of course, all the way up in Queens, the Coliseum. So those were the three most major spots to go and get that fly urban shit, and then mix that, you know, with whatever else we was dealing with locally. And it was unstoppable and an untouchable flavor from that angle on. Back on the shelf and smoke a blunt and dial 917-160-49311 and you could get long, thick hip-hop perfection. I damage any MC who step in my direction. I'm Staten Island's best, son.
Fuck what you heard.
Niggas still talking that
shit is absurd.
My repertoire
is USSR. PLO style got thrown out the car and ran over by the Method Man G.
Define can't define my style is so deep like pussy. My low cut face stay bushy
like a porcupine. I park backs like a spine.
I cut you like a blunt. Reconstruct your design. I know you wanna diss me, but I can read your mind cause you weak in the knees like
SWV.
Trying to get a title
like Woo Killer B.
Can't change your habit.
You know I'm friends with the Abbott.
Me and RZA raw name printed in the tab under vets. We paid our debts for mad years. Hibernated sound, now we out like bears and born power. Born physically, power speaking. The truth in the song be
the pro-black teaching. Peace. Subscribe to the channel.